Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for following along. This video is going to cover the fabrication of the front engine mount. If you've been following my videos, you know that the car came with the standard engine mount, which is for an LS3, and I'm using the LT4, and the engine mount really needs some slightly different dimensions. It needs, the posts need to be a little closer together. They also need to be a little taller. And then for some reason my frame is a bit wider and I need to make the engine mount about a 1/4 inch wider for it to fit properly. So I bought some metal from some of the local suppliers and I have been fabricating this part over the past week. So the first thing I had to do is machine these two half circles in the cross member. So I bought the beefiest hole saw I could find. This came from McMaster-Carr, and I didn't do it with a pilot drill. Normally you use a pilot drill for a hole saw, but the pilot drill would have wound up right on the edge here and it just wouldn't have worked properly. So I put this in a vise on my milling drill and I slowly turned the drill until I formed a groove. Then once you have a groove in the metal, the drill sort of follows it, and then I could speed up the drill and cut, these holes, and they came out quite nice. So these are the new posts, and you can see how much taller the new posts need to be than the old posts, but these fit in literally perfect. I mean look at that fit. So I'll send this to the welder and have it welded up. Also, I scavenged the side brackets. These are custom pieces, so I didn't want to have to make those, and these will get welded onto the cross member. The last piece that's part of the engine mount are these caps. So if you notice on the stock mount, these caps are about 1 inch thick. They're machined out on the bottom, and then there's a hole for the bolt to come through and bolt the engine onto the mount. So in my case, I started milling these caps, but I didn't finish. But these fit in quite nicely. And at some point what I'll do is I'm going to have the whole assembly welded up except for the caps, and then I'm going to make these caps out of Delrin plastic and get the height perfect. And then I also have to angle them about 4 degrees because the engine brackets are on a slight tilt. And once I have the height of the engine nailed, then I'll finish milling these off and making them perfect, and then I'll bring it back and have those welded. Okay, so that's the plan. Let's see, most of my videos up till now have been a lot of talking. My wife's been telling me that, a lot of talking, not a lot of action. You don't see a lot of parts on the car yet. But I did want to do a demonstration here. I have this Harbor Freight milling drill, and it's a pretty light duty milling drill. One of my hobbies is 1/4 scale RC racing, and I've been using this mill for at least 5 years, and it's probably one of my favorite tools of all time. Yeah, I build parts for things around the house and for my hobbies and so forth, and it turns out it's coming in very handy for the kit car. So I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to mill down a little bit of this cap. So you can see this cap, I started milling it, and this whole piece will take about 3 hours to mill down. You have to go very slowly. But what I'll do is I'm going to fire the mill up to about 1,000 RPM, and then for each cut I put a drop of cutting oil. That keeps this mill blade sharp, and I'll literally use one mill for both of these parts because I keep it well lubricated. Alright, so the first thing I'll do is I'm going to just lower the head a little bit, and you're going to hear the drill start to, there it goes, starting to work. Okay, then I'm going to get the pad moving, and you can see now the electric turntable is rotating the metal stock. If I zoom in, you can see it's slowly cutting this piece of steel. So it's pretty impressive that I'll whittle all the way down to about a 1/4 inch from the top, and that'll be my cap for the engine mount. But anyway, I figure you'd appreciate looking at some of these tools, getting a little action in. All right, well, thanks for following along, and stay tuned.